Good afternoon. It's 3:30. I want to talk to you a little bit today with a different kind of a question, and I want to come at it from a different angle than you might be expecting. Yesterday we talked about what are you full of? And we've all heard the statement because somebody said it to just about all of us. You're full of, and then you can fill in the blank with whatever they may have happened to have said. Sometimes it was not a compliment. Sometimes you're just full of goodness or full of sweetness. And we don't get that one as much, but sometimes we do. But my question for you was, what are you full of? And I want you to think about it in terms of this cup. What are you full of? But now I want you to think in just a little bit different terms today. Rather than thinking about just what you're full of and what you've been putting inside of you, I want you to look at it a little bit differently. And I'm gonna take you off here and I'm gonna reassign you. Because this time, you're already full of something. And whatever it is that you've got in you, you've got in you. But I want you to remember, and today's accountability point for you and challenge for you is, you have so much value. You have so much worth. I was talking to a beautiful young woman earlier today, and I said, you're absolutely beautiful. She said, I wish I could see what other people see. I said, well, you're probably thinking of yourself in terms of mistakes or shortcomings that you've made in the past. When you drive down the road, you don't drive down the road looking in the rearview mirror. And you should not look at yourself remembering your flaws from the past. Look at yourself with the potential that you have from the future. And that's one of the things I want you to think about now. And this could be a really good thing for you, and it may be a challenge for some of you. You're full of something. And I want you to ask yourself, who or what am I pouring me into? Who or what are you pouring you into? Now, for some of you, you'll say, well, I'm not pouring myself into anybody. I'm just doing my own thing. I'm pouring myself into me. Let me tell you something that I've learned over the years about active things that feed in on themselves. Generally, if you take something that generates pressure or energy and you run a hose out of it, that energy has to go somewhere. And if you run that energy back in on it, it usually explodes. So if you're focusing only on yourself and you got high blood pressure, guess what? I know why. You're running it back in on yourself. Pour yourself out on somebody and do it in a good way. Which brings me to my second question. Now you're pouring you into somebody or something. What are you pouring? For some of us, we're pouring goodness, we're pouring good health, we're pouring happiness, we're pouring encouragement. Some of us are pouring monies into charities, or we're equipping someone that's without groceries, and we're pouring of our good, our freezer food, our food that we have, or monies for them to buy groceries, or gift cards for them. We're pouring into them, and that's good. But for some of us, we're building up anger and frustration during the day because the job's not going like we want it to, or somebody said something to me and it made me mad, or these other things. And then we get home and we pour all of that junk into our kids, or into the dog, or into our spouse, or sometimes into our parents. They didn't do it to you. It's not their fault. You're pouring you into somebody or something. Now, you may be spending all of your effort at work. You're pouring everything that you've got into your workplace, and you have no love, no commitment, no compassion, no tenderness left for your family when you get home. Or you're pouring everything that you've got into that so that you become so embittered that you're pouring trash out on your family when you get home. Remember yesterday, you're full of, look here, if you're full of that, don't carry it home and dump it on somebody else. You clean out the inside on your way home. Think about that. You're full of something. You've got so much potential. You can change the world. You are changing the world. You can change the world for the good or for the bad. Change it for the good. Make a positive difference. people are going to remember you. People are going to talk about you for years. I just earlier today saw a photograph of some of my friends that I graduated from high school with, and that has been a long time ago. We graduated, but I remember them. Some of them I remember them for their smile. Some of them I remember for the pat on the back. Some of them I remember for crazy things that we did together that were fun. Some of them I remember heartaches that we went through together. But you are going to be remembered. You are going to be remembered. And you're pouring yourself into somebody. Your children will remember, magnified, the things that you're pouring into them now. Pouring love, tenderness. If you're not married, no kids, staying with your parents, you're pouring something into your parents. Is it good? You're full of something. Who or what are you pouring you into? Make sure it's good. Make sure that whoever you're pouring into or whatever you're pouring into, you're pouring the good of you into their who. You can do it. You can make a difference. I believe in you. Make it good.